So I received a really deep, profound insight and download from my spirit team the other day about the relation of numbers to consciousness and energy. And I'm actually going to add in the video I put on TikTok on here for you to go and watch that. And a lot of people that watch that were saying, I don't understand this. I don't understand what you're saying. And honestly, I don't really understand what I was saying either. However, I do in a way comprehend what they're trying to relay to us. So in this episode, I'm going to attempt to relay the information that they gave me about the significance of numbers, the numbers and councils that people channel, and how numbers relate to the quantum field. And I'll try to dive into this and explain all that as I go. So hang in there. And if you need to take notes, drop a comment below. I would love if you would subscribe and follow, maybe share with some friends so that my channel can continue to grow. So, all right, let's dive in.
Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Oh my gosh, my spirit team just told me the coolest thing. So, I was watching something and the number 12 was referred to. And for some reason, when they said 12, I automatically thought, oh, well, there's 12 beings on the team I channel, the Wisdom Keepers. So the Wisdom Keepers are a council of 12. And they have not revealed who this council of 12 is. They have shown me different energies that are connected to them and these beings of light. And so I do know that they're made up of different beings that are kind of all over within the universe in different dimensions. And the reason they're called the Wisdom Keepers is because they go and they pull in the wisdom of the universe and they keep the wisdom. So, but what's interesting is they keep track of the energetics, the quantum field of the universe. So the keepers of energy, basically. And for some reason, when I heard that number 12, what popped in my head was, I wonder why there are 12. Because I'm hearing, when I hear other people that channel and they connect with other dimensional beings, those who work with a council or with a group, they always seem to be in even numbers. And I was like, this is so interesting because anytime that I have tapped in, there's been either a council of 8, a council of 4, a council of 12, the 24 elders, and then that got me to thinking about numbers. And I am not a math person. I actually do not like math at all. And so this was kind of a hard comprehension for me to grasp when they gave this to me. But they started to show me the energetics of the quantum field. So if you don't know what the quantum field is basically the energetics that makes up everything. It's source energy, God, spreading his energy out, and that is the field of consciousness that makes up the energetics and the matrix of the universe that we get to experience in our soul, in our spiritual essence. And so as a divine frequency of source energy that has been a reciprocal effect of that energy, we go out into this quantum field and we experience ourselves, which is source experiencing himself or itself. So then I'm going into this with my spirit team. And so then they start explaining to me the negative numbers. And so what they said to me was, what's interesting is you humans have to comprehend things in tangible physical ways. And so math is a physical way to see the quantum field. Math numbers are a physical way to represent the energetics around us, or the measurements around us, or the ability to create and be. And so a number, like adding, subtracting, timesing, multiplying, clearly I'm not good at math, division, like all this stuff is taking something and creating something else within it. And so what they were showing me, and I'm trying to tap in while I'm talking to you to have them help me translate this, because what they were showing me was that everything in the universe, and this is something I teach in my Ascension membership and to all of my students and clients, everything's affinity. Everything is eternal. So if I want you to think about the infinity sign. So the infinity sign continues to go, it's eternal. It never ends. It just continues. And so what they were explaining to me was that the numbers represent the infinity, and each is woven within itself. So 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And they were explaining that every time you hit a certain frequency within the element of energy that we comprehend as numbers, you're hitting a different dimensional connection that allows you to tap into a new consciousness. So when we shift between the 1 and 2, the power of 2 or more on earth brings into higher frequency. We shift into 2, 3, 4, then we move it into a higher frequency of beings and light, which is like a 4th dimension. Then we shift into the 5th and 6th, and we move it into the 6th dimension. The 6th dimension is the dimension in which spirits reside before they come to be a physical, or before they ascend back into a higher dimension. Then we go through the 6th and 7th into the 8th, and a lot of people channel from the 8th dimension, and a lot of them communicate and say that this council has a council of 8. Then we move into the 9th and 10th dimension, and the 10th dimension holds a certain frequency of divine beings and guides and spirits and ancestors, and I'm hearing that's kind of a middle ground. And then we move in through these other dimensions. Sorry, they just corrected me. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so we're going to continue. And then I channel from the 12th dimension. I channel a team from the 12th dimension, and there are 12 beings on this council. And I know other people that channel beings from the 12th dimension that also talk about how they channel a council of 12. And then there was a time that my spirit team showed me what they called themselves the 24 elders. And they were much higher. They were in the 14th dimension, which is interesting that they're in the 14th and not the 24th. But I'm not sure our human consciousness can truly comprehend that high of a frequency unless we are out of our human experience in our body, like having an out-of-body experience or NED or something like that. Like, to tap into that ability. And when I say high, we think of like a line that goes up and down, but this is just a field. This is just a energy. This is like a cycling energetic ball, basically. And so then I'm losing track of it because this is like so much information. But so what is really happening is on our human level, on our 3D ego mind, And this is so cool because Spirit is always explaining to me how everything is a mirror. And everything, if you look at things around you and you comprehend them from the truth and consciousness of your higher self from source energy, every single thing is a splitting cell. Everything is a mirror of itself. So down to our DNA, down to our cells, down to our atoms, down to the little parts of fabric, everything is a reflection of the divine. And we can add numbers into that, and the numbers represent the matrix fields of the consciousness. And each time a negative and a positive weaves together, it creates a new frequency. Wow.
So before I dive into this really deep insight and episode that I really don't even understand myself, I just want to let you know that I don't necessarily sit around and prepare these teachings. I don't look things up. I don't study. I don't try to write out a script to understand what I'm about to say to you. And this is all just me channeling messages and information through the connection that I have with my higher self. And so the interpretation that I am getting through this connection with the divine is based on the abilities that my human comprehension can pull through. And you will find this with psychics, with mediums, with channelers. And I have learned this over the years as I have really had to let go of some of the fears and the judgments I've had about myself, and being able to connect with other dimensional beings and higher frequencies, and letting go of the idea that I have to be perfect. I have to have everything together. I have to be, um, really super smart and understand everything they say to me. And the way that they have helped me understand, being able to release some of that, is understanding that I am working alongside them and with them, and that my comprehension is going to come through my egotistic human comprehension and not necessarily always my higher dimensional perspective. And so if I am not a human that understands things such as science and math and these like logical ways to think as a human, when they bring information through to me, my mind is trying to unravel the message. The message is perfect and pure. The message that they give me and the energy field that they are basically telepathically, energetically putting into my energetic field, and my brain is picking up, my thinking ability as a human is trying to take that and find links of things that I can comprehend and understand in my human comprehension to deliver the message. And I will never forget, I was channeling one time, and someone asked me a question about something, and all of a sudden I got a vision in my head of what they were asking me about. Like I could see what this person was wanting to know about and like a picture of it, but I had never heard of it. I had never known about it in my human experience. And so I remember trying to interpret the picture that was being downloaded into my mind and the message that was coming to me from that person. And what I realized was the spirit was trying to get me the message, but my mind wasn't capable of like really unweaving it and like pulling it into this linear kind of timeline and understanding. And so I remember having to work on finding a way to correlate and coordinate between the understanding that I have in my logical human understanding and the download they were bringing. And when you're channeling, if you didn't know this, basically you are just stepping out of the way and allowing spirit to use your physical experience to represent themselves. And so it's not necessarily that I am not there, but I am not thinking at that time. I am not trying to really portray anything from my own personality. I am allowing them and the spirit's frequency and energy to move through me in a way. And so when these downloads come, I have to be in a state of trusting fully that what they're bringing through is what is needing to be said, because I am kind of releasing control in a way. And it's taken me a while. I've been channeling for a few years now, and it's taken me a while to fully trust myself and I trust them fully. It's me that I don't trust sometimes. And so my spirit team has talked to me sometimes about why I don't trust myself. And it's, this is not necessarily what I want to talk about today, but the trauma I've been through in my life, the experiences I've had, were very violating to my physical body here as a human. And so I've had to learn how to trust that they're not going to violate my body as they bring through these frequencies, and I can trust them to take care of me and to understand my physical limitations and boundaries as they work with me and help me rise in my frequency to be able to comprehend their messages a little bit more. And my desire is continually to want to increase my frequency to bring those messages through more clear and more accurate, and with the ability to help people understand and comprehend it on a logical human realm and level. And that can get hard sometimes to distinguish when they give me these really deep, profound messages like they did in this message that I had posted with the TikTok video. So I'm going to try to explain a little tiny bit about what they were saying and some comprehension that they are trying to give me to share. One of the things I want to say is, like, I was watching a show about channeling when this came through, and when this person came up talking about the council that she channels, she channels the 12 archangels, and for some reason the number 12 stuck out to me. And I'm not a math person, and I wasn't looking for that in the moment, but it was like my spirit team said, oh, there's the message we want to give you. We want you to understand something about how, and this is okay. So as I'm talking, they are sharing messages already. Basically what they're saying to me right now is we are I'm just going to let them speak for a second. We are here to help assist you in understanding the ability to recognize how everything is a mirror and a frequency of itself. And therefore, everything that you comprehend on the human conscious level is a reflection of something that we see in an energetic level. And so it's not necessarily that you are seeing something that is wrong or different. You're seeing it from the perspective of the dimension that you are in. And therefore, we will try to help you understand why there are things on earth that you may not necessarily find in the same way in other dimensions or thinking or comprehension when you rise in your frequency. And so when you go into another dimension, the comprehension that you receive is going to be based on that dimensional thinking and consciousness, and not based on the energetics of the 3D world or the 4D comprehension in which you are currently residing in. And so we will bring through this message, and we will try and attempt to help you comprehend this as we assist this vessel in sharing the message through Angie. Okay. Again, like I said, this is just me sharing. One of the things I want to start with is that I was asking them about why 12? Why were there 12 people on my team? Why were there 12 people on this person's team? And then what they began to show me was these different people that I know that channel. Now, I know there are people that channel different numbers of councils, but what they were showing me was people that channeled a council of like maybe 4, a council of maybe 8, a council of maybe the 12, like myself. And I got to be like, it brought me into a curiosity about numbers. And I really do not like math at all. And so this is kind of silly and funny that I'm even attempting to connect with this message. But they began to show me, and this is something they've showed me before, the power between a negative and a positive. And the first thing they began to show me was the atom and neutrons and protons and the cells within our body, and how they're continually creating more of itself. And the creation of more is a representation of how the universe works. It's one energy is cycling and bringing another energy. But in order for that to happen, it has to have a negative and a positive. And the way Spirit has explained to me, being able to comprehend it in this way, is the negative and positive side of a battery, and how in the middle is the neutral energetic part that actually gives the power. And so what is happening in our human experience, as we are a reflection of the divine, is that we are coming to experience what we would consider to be negative experiences, but the negative experiences is what brings growth and learning and the ability to ascend. And so the challenges are what push us into the purpose of our existence, basically. And that is how the universe works. But they were showing me this related to the quantum field. And if you don't understand what the quantum field is, the quantum field is literally the matrix, the energetics that make up everything. It's energy. It's the non-seen creating the seen in many ways for us, but also the energetics that make up the field of energy of God, the field of energy of all things, all beings, all existence. So you could consider our energetic field, our aura, our higher self, our voice, the frequencies that come out of our voice, particles, atoms, brain waves, Reiki healing, anything that is really not necessarily tangible or physical, in a sense that we can touch and feel it, or comprehend it on a human energetic physical level. Hopefully I'm explaining this correct. Let me know below. So when we are meditating, when we are visualizing, when we are setting manifestation goals, when we are tapping into things unseen or not created yet in our physical reality, or things that are around us energetically that we may not physically be able to see, such as a spirit or such as our future version of ourselves that we're wanting to manifest, that may not be present right now in our actual physical reality where we can see it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does. It's just in the quantum field of energy around us. Now, understanding that the energetic blueprint, basically, of the divine, and how the divine has been created and how it created the universe, pulling that down to the logical comprehension of numbers, this is what Spirit told me. That because everything has a negative and a positive, basically neutron or proton or whatever that might be in the energetic field, humanity uses numbers to comprehend the non-seen. And if you've been on this awakening journey for a while, or have come into a new frequency, I guess you would say, you might be somebody that sees numbers a lot. You might see 111 or 1111. You might say 222, 333, 444, 555. Every single day, I see the number. I for some reason, I just looked at the clock and saw it. I always look at the clock at 12:22, and I started doing this right after my dad passed away in 2020. And I've been able to comprehend and understand that this is how his spirit and my spirit are communicating, that he's still with me and I'm still with him. And he'll bring to me every day 1222. I'm still here. And so spirits will do this where they'll bring in a number or they'll bring in something that to remind us that we have more beyond our physical comprehension going on. There's non-physical, there's energies around us. And our higher self will do this too. I know a lot of people think of these numbers like 222, 333, 444, 555, and other numbers and beyond as like angelic messages to us, like we call them angel numbers. And it's not necessarily that they're not angel numbers. They definitely can have a meaning and purpose for them. But a lot of times when you are seeing repeated things or repeated numbers or repeated patterns, that is you tapping in to the quantum field and the energy around you, which is helping you know that your frequency is aligned with the comprehension and understanding of the non-physical. And so you are shifting in a vibration where you can begin to see patterns and vibrations around you. But because we cannot see the non-physical, we can't actually see the outline of the energies around us. The way the energies show up for us is through the comprehension of numbers or patterns. And then spirit, when I was getting this message the other day, began to pull me into the comprehension of numbers in a new way. And they showed this in a linear way. And I'm going to grab my board here so I can teach you through this drawing, because it is a little bit difficult to understand when you can't physically see it. I know I had a hard time. I'm just writing numbers here. Okay, so this is what they showed me. They showed me a line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this went for affinity. Okay, so like I said, I'm not a math person, so I'm not going to try to pretend to understand. I know there's a number, I believe it's pi or something like that. That is the infinity number. I could be completely wrong. You can correct me below if you want to, but this is where I'm going to keep it because I need it to be like kindergartner. So they showed me this, but they showed me an affinity. And so I'm going to draw, I'm going to attempt to draw the affinity sign here. And this is something I've taught many times in my other videos, that we are eternal affinity beings. Like we have no beginning and no end. Source God, whatever you want to label this divine being that is all the creator of all, had no beginning and has no end. It's going to continue. And so we are source. We are that energy. And if you haven't watched my other video about me seeing like having an out-of-body experience and meeting God, when I saw God, when I left my body and saw the energetics of God, I had a comprehension of the energy of all and the overwhelmingness of it creating itself more and more and more. And so the way that I saw God was basically an energy. Let me draw it on this side real fast. So I just saw an energy. It was just a ball of energy. And around the ball of energy it's just the aura field. And this aura field went out for like eternal affinity. And then we are the creations within it. So source God, the energy of God, this energy is constantly creating more of itself, which is the experiences such as our soul to move out into the quantum field to have experiences for God. So we are basically God experiencing itself and having the ability to go out into this quantum field to create more and more and more. And that is through the negative and positive experiences. So the energetics of the universe, basically. So negative, positive, negative, positive. So coming back to this side, what they showed me here was the how our math system here on earth represents this. Now, if you're a math person, you're probably way beyond me and you're probably going to be like, this is so dumb because it's so normal. But for me, it really helped me comprehend the way the universe is actually created and the quantum field of energy around us. And so what they showed me is that everything is affinity. And so they showed me this. And if you have been in religion, you've heard this before, where there are two or more gathered, there I am. And so I got to thinking about where there are two or more gathered, and I started to realize that the more you add energy to energy, the more that energy increases, which, since everything is God, everything is source, the only way when you add energy, like positive energy together, you're going to get more and more God. You're going to get more and more source. So depending on the frequency of, let's say we have two people gathering in a high frequency of love, that love frequency is going to be enhanced. If we have two people coming together in hate or anger, that hate is going to be enhanced. But if you have one in love and one in hate coming together, the love is always going to equal out the hate, and the attempt is to neutralize it back into love, because everything is created of love. It just comes out of that when it's in this dimension because it forgets who it is. And so that is what light workers, that is what healers, that is what the volunteers that came to earth to help raise the vibration are here doing, is neutralizing the lower dimensional feelings, energies, actions into a higher frequency to allow things to begin to shift into more of the comprehension of source energy God. This is a lot for my mind, so I can assume this is a lot for your mind. So the way that they showed me this now, based on numbers, is that we have the negative and the positive here. And then in the middle is the equal, which would be the neutralizer. The ability, this gives the ability to create more. So it would be the 3. And I know this is probably backwards for you, but so the numbers in our human experience represent the ability to create more. And then what they began to show me is that these also represent the ability or the comprehension of the different dimensions there are within the universe. And so we have the first and second dimension, and then we have the third and fourth dimension, which is where we have been in the third dimension, and we are currently shifting into the fourth dimension to help us raise our vibration up into the fifth dimension. And so the way they showed this was like we are learning from each of these experiences, but they're taking these and they went like this is what they did. So we started out with one infinity, then we moved into two infinities. And so this created a dimension. This created a dimension. And then now we're moving up into another dimension. And as you can see, these are all created upon each other. But then they began to show me the power of all the dimensions together, which is how source is. This is the actual frequency and energy of source. And if I were to come in here and I were to go all the way to the fourth, to the fifth, all the way like this, as you can see, it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger in its frequency, because you have more and more power, negative power, moving into the positive. And so we're having negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So it goes all the way down to the numbers where you can have a negative, a negative, a negative, and a negative, and then a positive, 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 positive. And the negative and positive represents the ability to create more, which is the infinity of the universe, where we're continually making more and more of ourselves. Now, when I was tapping into this, wondering about the number and the councils that we all channel, some of us that channel tap into, I understand that some people do channel like from the ninth dimension. Some people channel a council of nine. Some people channel from, different dimensions. I happen to channel from the 12th dimension, and they just happen to be a council of 12. And I have seen into the 14th dimension, where they have showed me the 24 elders, in which the wisdom keepers, the council of 12 who I channel, they kind of report to. And it's not a reporting to like we have on earth. It's a like working together to help the quantum field continue to work and expand in an order. Everything has an order to it, but there's not a hierarchy system to it. So the 12th dimension does not think it's better than the third dimension. We are all one energy. We are just working. So in many ways, we in our frequency in the third dimension is helping that higher dimension expand and grow, because we are playing the negative and they are playing the positive. Hopefully this is so hopefully this gave you some type of insight and comprehension to not only the quantum field, but how energy works and how we can connect with higher dimensional beings. Because when I allow my negative experience on earth to help me to grow, to heal, to learn, then that gives me the ability to use the negative to increase my frequency into a higher positive. And that's where I begin to try to find a balance. And our hope and our desire isn't necessarily to be in this complete like la la land as a human. We're not necessarily meant to not live a human life and experience the physical things and have things happening in our life. We are meant to be shifting and understanding and comprehending who we are based on our experiences. And we all come here to learn something. We all, before we came, we're all a soul, and we all decided, I'm going to go to earth to learn this. And I'm actually not just going to learn it for myself. I'm learning it for source. I'm learning it for all other beings. And so this is why we can impact each other so deeply, because what I do impacts you no matter what. The way I show up can impact the people around me. And this is why the prominent message that any master teacher that walked the earth gave, such as Jesus and Buddha, was about love, and first loving yourself and then loving others. Because when you comprehend that the universe is love and you work in that love, then you allow that, what we would consider to be the negative, to be the portion of our experience that propels us back into love, and to comprehend love on a deeper, higher frequency level, moving closer and closer to the truth of what pure, authentic love is, which we cannot comprehend as a human. Because as a human, love is connected to the density that we live in, which is connected to quality, to the judgment, to the conditions of how we give and receive love. And the higher frequencies, the higher you get, the more connected you are to Source God, the less and less conditional love becomes. And therefore, it just is love without having any reason to love or express it. God cannot be or do anything other than express love. That is why it created more of itself to experience itself outside of itself, to learn more about itself, so that its own love can continue to grow and enhance. So this vibration of itself has been shifting outward and creating different dimensional experiences, and then each dimensional experiences pulls itself away from love, and then we get to come do the physical part of it on earth. And there are physical experiences all around the universe, just not as dense as this place that we are in now. And so our part in the universe is playing one of those cells, basically, of the negative to help a positive to enhance. And so we're working together to create more. And our number system as humans is a physical representation of that field of love around us. Whew. My brain kind of hurts, so I'm sure yours does. If I get any more messages about this, I will share it with you. Please share below if you have questions or you would like me to ask my spirit team about something. I am more than willing to do so. Please remember, you can join my Ascension membership for only $25 a month and come hear me channel live every month. The first Tuesday of every month I channel, and on a Zoom call you can ask questions. And also, if you are a healer, a light worker, a star seed, someone here on earth that you know for sure you're here to raise the vibration, you have had this deep calling inside of you that you are meant for more, I want you to come and join my healer circle. It's only $35 a month unless you want one-on-one work, which there's an option for that as well. And I would love to have you in this circle of magical beings of light. We are growing so quickly and we have so much love within this circle. And each time we come together, that love enhances and we get to go out into the world and vibrate that at a higher frequency. Because when we come together, just as I was saying before, where two or more are gathered, there I am. That energy becomes beyond what we can comprehend, and our ripple effect is even more powerful than what we can comprehend in our physical experience. So come join us. The link's below. I would love to have you. Until we meet again, I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.